Hi, this is Bruce with Deep South Sauce Company for B&B Charcoal, and today I'm going to be cooking a reverse sear steak on a gas grill, but we're going to be adding some smoke flavor. So we're not going to, just because you use a gas grill doesn't mean you can't add good smoke to it. So there's things out there on the market, various things. I like the smoking tubes. We can pour pellets down in it. They also have smoking boxes. You can put wood chips and pellets in as well. But today I'm going to be using a smoking tube. So I'm going to fill it full of pellets, and today I'm using B&B Hickory pellets, and you're just going to fill it up as much as you need. I'm sure if you had a funnel this would go better. So we're going to fill up the pellets, and I'm going to be smoking on a gas grill using an indirect method. So I already have my gas grill heated up. I only have the burners on the right hand side, just one burner on, about medium. The rest of them are off, and I'm going to smoke my steak at about 250, 275 until I get it to an internal temperature that I want. Today I'm going to be shooting for a medium rare, and I'm using a wagyu cut, so it's going to take a little bit higher. So I'm going to smoke it on the 250 to 275 until the internal temperature comes up to about 115 to 118 degrees. The fattier the meat, the more you're going to need to cook it. So if you have a choice, maybe it's 115. If you have a prime, 118 to 120. My ultimate goal is to pull it off at about 125, 130. So I've filled it up here. I'm going to take a B&B smoking lighting cube here, and I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to light it and put it on the Weber grill, and that smoke is going to come out and infuse the meat. Now, what I'm going to do for my steaks, I'm going to do a pretty basic steak today. It's a ribeye cut, about 1.25 inches, right? And I'm just going to do some basic salt and pepper and a little bit of Worcestershire. Now, I like a good bit of seasoning on these. You can use your favorite steak rub or whatever you want to do, but for me, I'm just going to do salt, pepper, Worcestershire, and then when I'm done, after I've done the reverse sear, and then I let it rest for a bit, get the grill hot, and we'll talk about that a little more, and I sear it and get it done, I'm going to brush it with some butter infused with rosemary and garlic to finish it off while it rests, right, to get that nice additional flavor. Just a little bit of Worcestershire. Rub that in and flip it over and do the other side. Now you can let your meat rest a little bit while you're getting your grill ready. For us, we've already got the grill kind of started and got warmed up. You can let the steaks come up safely to room temperature as long as you cook them right away. It helps the process. You don't get it as done on the edges. In the reverse sear, it's pretty hard to mess up the doneness on the reverse sear if you have a good thermometer that'll help you keep track. All right, so we're gonna let these rest a minute. I'm gonna get the pellets started, get them on the gas grill, and then we'll start the cooking. All right, so our gas grill is set up. Now this particular model has 3 burners, and I have the far right burner on, we'll call it medium high. The other 2 burners are off. My dome temperature here says I'm at about 290-ish, right? And then I have a thermometer on the grate that says I'm about at 250. So that's about where I want to be, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. You can see our smoke tube in the back and the smoke coming out there. We've got some good smoke going. I'm just going to oil the grates. Now there's no flame on this side, so you can use a spray. That's okay. If there is flame, always put oil on a paper towel and do it that way. Now I'm going to take my steaks. Remember, my flame is over here, my smoke is here. I'm just going to lay my steaks to smoke. I'm just going to lay them here. Now it's very important that we watch our temperature closely, and I just happen to have a couple of probes here that I'm going to stick in just because I don't want to overdo my steaks. Again, I'm looking for, on these particular steaks, I'm looking about 115 to 118 internal temp. So one way to be sure to do that is to get some probes with a good thermometer system, so you can make sure you get that. And then I'm just gonna kind of close it. You see our smoke and pellets is going back there with a little flame. That's quite all right. It'll be nice and smoky, and the heat is just gonna come across, circle that steak, and give it some nice smoke. So our steaks have been on, it's about 30 minutes or so. It's been running steady at about 250 at my thermometer on the grill grates, and about 300 in the dome thermometer here. That's why you can't always count on the dome, right? So I have a separate one. Now, the steaks are not gonna look that pretty charred color just yet, right? So don't be too concerned about the look. If your thermometer says it's at 118, 115, 118, then you're where you want to be. And you can see our pellets have been smoking along just fine. The other thing I did is I took some butter, actually ghee, clarified butter, some rosemary and garlic, dropped it in a pot, put it over the heat to get it nice and warm. We're gonna finish our steaks with that later. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off and just put them in a pan to let them rest for about 10 minutes. Now I'm gonna move the pellets over to the cooler side. I'm still gonna let them smoke, but I'm gonna move it over the cooler side, and I'm gonna turn up these burners over here to high heat because I wanna sear it really hot. So I'm gonna let these rest for about 10 minutes, let this come up to temperature, and then we're gonna sear them off and finish them. Took the steaks off, we've let them rest. I've turned up the burners. I added another burner, so I got 2 burners going. I have them, medium high. I'm just gonna temp the grates real quick. So I have a laser thermometer here. I'm hitting the grates. They're at about 530, 540. That's plenty hot for what I wanna do to sear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the steaks that have been resting. Now, you wanna either one of 2 ways. You can oil the grates, or I just have some spray here. I'm just gonna spray the steak itself. Goes in. I'm just gonna press down just a little bit to get that sear mark set. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it. I'm not 100% sure how the grill grate marks are gonna work on this, but I'm gonna try to get some grill grate marks. So I'm gonna do it for about 1:30, and then I'm gonna turn it 90 degrees to get that cross hatch, and then do another 1:30, and then flip it over, and then let it cook until it comes up to about 125, 128 degrees. And then when I pull it off, let it rest for 10 minutes. It should continue to cook for about another 5 degrees or so. So my final temp will be in the low 130s, and that should be my perfect medium rare. So the steaks have rested for about 5 minutes or so, and let's see how we did. So I'm just gonna take one right here. Let's just cut into it and see how we did. All right, nice layout there. I'm just gonna take my other 2, sit it back on the back like so. And then what I like to do is I like to, with the butter and such, I'm gonna just take some of the rosemary that was in butter and lay it on top. Some garlic as well. Hit it one more time with a little bit of salt. And there we have it. Hey, thanks a lot for sticking with us. This is Bruce Johnson with Deep South Sauce Company for B&B Charcoal, and we have cooked some beautiful reverse seared steaks for you today.